Notary, as you can tell, uh, I am in my feelings tonight. So we had an amazing day. We had 3 closings. Tomorrow it looks like we have none. Woo, that rarely happens. So if you're feeling that, it's real. But the reason I wanted to bring this content to you tonight is that it was incredibly moving. And anytime something really touches a nerve, it's going to touch how we can serve our people. It's going to touch how we can work to the best of our abilities as notaries in our closings with our partners, with our stakeholders. And so I wanted to come tonight and talk to you about the power of community. And this story came from me posting a memory of losing my dear little Mr. Winston. He was a Yorkie, 15 years old. Obviously, anytime one of us loses a pet, especially a longtime pet, it hits close. And I didn't really own that. I wasn't really thinking about that. But what moved me so much and what can move us and the needle in our efforts to create connection in this world was the community response I got when I just posted a Facebook memory. And I think we need to remember, as we're seeking to build our businesses, as we're seeking to network in our communities, as we're seeking to serve, right, on a level of excellence, when we're seeking to disrupt the real estate industry and make this piece, this small piece of people's experience exceptional, part of that is going to be leaning on a larger community. The power of community. The first thing is it lets you know you're not alone. One of the reasons I come to you each evening and tell you how many closings we've had is, number one, to show you what's possible. But number two, to show you there are days that we don't have closings, and that's okay. That's authentic. It's to create community. It's so that you see what our business looks like with all transparency. The other reason that I think community can be so powerful is that we think about how we can see ourselves in others. We're not alone, right? We see others' perspectives. We see why some people might think general notary work is the way to go. We see why in some areas the real estate market might be booming and maybe those areas are super busy. We see why maybe someone might think this is the way to approach a trauma closing versus that way to approach a closing that's going to be more difficult for our clients. All of it enriches our ability to understand what's at stake, and that's excellent customer service. All of it enriches us as individuals. Being part of a larger community is the magic ingredient that will make you able to speak universally to all of the variety of people that will come before you to sign these documents that mean so very much to them, right? When somebody is signing loan closing documents, it's about so much more than paperwork. It's our goal to make sure that paperwork is as accurate as possible and as well laid out and thought out as possible as we receive it, get it signed, and send it back. But in fact, we're part of a really sacred part of an individual's experience in their adult lifetime. Maybe this is the only time they've ever bought a home. Maybe it's the first time they've bought a home. Maybe it's when they're selling the family home they raised their children in. Maybe it's the home they sold with the dog that they loved for 15 years that they lost. Maybe fill in the blank, right? Something just came to mind for you. An emotion just bubbled up for you. And that's what we have the honor of shepherding in these appointments. It's so much more than paperwork, my friends. And we have the ability to truly transform people's experience. And they can come in with trepidation or fear and leave with joy, having expectations exceeded. That's the goal. I also want you to think about community as something that provides a resource, something that allows you to lean on them. One of the things I love about the American Elite Notary community as we grow is how we're able to provide individualized services to people who may have questions. They may feel shy to ask in a larger group, especially when you're a new notary, and maybe even when you're someone with a great deal of experience, you might have embarrassment around asking a question, and that isn't welcomed here. Only you are welcomed. There are no stupid questions. We've all been in that moment where we think, oh, I can't believe I'm not remembering this, but I need help. I'm not sure how to do this. And that's when we come into play. We know that you're able to do your best work when you enter that room with poise and grace, centered yourself, and knowing that you have a larger community behind you supporting you. So when I experienced such a wide level of support when I posted just a Facebook memory, it really triggered in me and reminded me about the power of community. And so I'm going to invite you tonight to join my free community called Resilient and Successful Lifestyles. It's where we share some of the more granular nuts and bolts about how we grew two businesses to six figures in a year, but it also is a place for a lot of positivity, information, encouragement, and for community to come together. This is a time in our world where we desperately need to look for connection and to look for patience, understanding, acceptance. You're seen and you're appreciated. And what you bring is unique to only you. And we value that. We truly value that. That is how we're going to be able to move forward in peace and in prosperity in our lifetime, is when we're able to see beyond these small, silly arguments to the larger issue at hand. So for us, it might be the simple task of doing a job very well, helping someone buy their home. But for you, it might also be a larger contribution to your life to be a part of our American Elite community, as well as our resilient and successful community, because that's our goal, is to make sure that you end up living the life that you wish to live. And part of that, I tell you, my friend, is going to be being part of a community. So I'm so grateful for you for being here. I hope the rest of your evening is amazing, and I'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow live.